As far as all of the different outlets to experience the larger consciousness systems, like you mentioned, OBEs, it seems like lucid dreaming is one of the main accepted outlets. As far as a lucid dreamer, what is a good exercise for someone who regularly experiences lucid dreams to begin experimenting and learning in the non-physical?
The difference between out-of-body, lucid dreaming, remote viewing is not fundamental. Okay, there's not any fundamental difference between them. It's rather in the approach. Okay, when you do an out-of-body, you maintain consciousness all through. You start conscious and you remain consciousness as you shift your focus of your intent from the physical to outside the physical, to the non-physical. In a lucid dream, you approach it differently. You go to sleep, you wake up in your dream and say, oh, I'm dreaming, and from then on, you take charge of your dream. And in the remote viewing, you basically take your intent and focus it on gathering certain kinds of information. What's going on at a certain place, or what's going to happen in the future, or whatever. So all of those things, they just start out differently. Basically, why do they have different experiences? Why is the lucid dream kind of more dreamlike, and the out-of-body more like an adventure in another world, and the RV is more about getting data? Well, it's because of expectation and belief. For the most part, those differences are just what's expected. They're generated by belief and expectation, that's all. There's no real fundamental difference other than the approach to being aware in the larger reality, which is what they're all doing. They're collecting data. Even the out-of-body experiment is really just collecting data out of the database, with a certain expectation or idea of what they're doing and where they're going. And if you're a remote viewer, you collect data on a particular location, perhaps. You don't do that in an UBI. You collect different kinds of data. In a lucid dream, they're all a little different for that reason. Now, none of them are particularly important for growing up. I'd also like to say that. None of these things, lucid dreaming, out-of-body, remote, you don't have to do anything paranormal ever to grow up, to decrease your entropy, to evolve the quality of your consciousness, spiritual growth, however you want to say this. I just call it growing up. None of those things are really important to growing up. What's important to growing up is becoming love, getting rid of fear and ego, getting rid of beliefs, those sorts of things. And if you work on that, you will find that your ability to do these paranormal things, the lucid dream, the out-of-body, and the remote viewing and so on, becomes very easy. It's natural. But rather than get that cart in front of the horse, I would suggest that people who want to do out-of-body or lucid dreaming or remote viewing start with working on getting rid of your ego and your fear and your beliefs. That will then make the OBE and the lucid dream and the remote view a much different thing altogether. It'll be a whole lot easier, and you'll be a whole lot more effective if you do that first. What good are they? Well, they can be useful in opening up one's mind to a larger reality. So it's not that OBE and lucid dreaming and our viewing, they're not required, but they can be useful to opening your own mind to a larger reality, and as other people find out about it, it opens their mind to a larger reality. So it's not that they're a terrible thing to be avoided. They're not. It's just another thing you can do in the larger consciousness system. All right, well, what about the exercises? What sort of practice if you want to lucid dream? Well, remember, your intent modifies probable future. So if what you want to do is lucid dream, then you need to focus your intent on lucid dreaming. You need to have that intent in your mind as often and as long as you can, particularly before you go to sleep. You have to have that intent focused on, when I dream, I will notice that I'm dreaming. I will wake up in that dream. Then I will take charge, and here's what I want to do then with that time. If you focus on that, if you focus your intent on that, then it will begin to happen. And that's the most obvious way to go about doing it. There's lots of other little tricks, like how do you know that you're in a dream, because something impossible or really weird happens that wouldn't normally happen. So you set your mind to be alert for those kinds of things. That's another thing. You focus your intent on becoming alert in your dream to things that will point out to you that you're dreaming. So all of these things, the out-of-body and heroic viewing too, are just a matter of practice and intent. If your intent is good, you'll find that they will come along. If you grow up first, you will find they will come along easily.